So I'm just going to give you guys some rapid fire thoughts. We just sort of crossed the 10 million email mark in my agency. So we send about 25,000 emails per month per client, and that starts to add up really quickly. I'll just give you guys some thoughts about the cold email and maybe some of the things that surprised me. The first thought that I had is that the things like the software stack and all these little technical things are a lot less important than you think. It's really easy to do at a high level. Most people don't know what they're doing, but when you learn what you're doing, the real challenges in a cold email campaign are making the other person, and specifically making a large segment of the market, really have an emotional reaction to the email. This is probably the most important lesson: is when somebody gets an email from you, they should feel something. They should say like, wow. And if you don't get like a wow, or like, that's amazing, or I really want this, or I can see how this would help me. It's something that you feel inside when you read the email. If you don't feel that, you can dot all of the I's and cross all of the T's, but the campaign isn't going to work as well as it should, if it works at all. The most important thing, you have to remember that people emotionally never really get more than 5 or 6 years old. So you're always talking to that 5-year-old. And if you can make them excited, that's almost all of the battle. And I don't see anybody really talking about this. I see a lot of people talking about software stack and is cold email dead or is this, but the number one thing I can tell you is just make them excited. Buy something, send something that you would buy. And you would buy without a shadow of a doubt, and it'll work. The other lesson is very similar to advertising, where in advertising, nobody really wants to see a billboard ad. Like, you go down the street in Miami in the design district and you're bombarded by hundreds of ads that, for a lot of people, these products cost more than they make in a year. And it's overwhelming and it's obnoxious and it's insane. But that's what drives the economy. The reason cold email works is because it drives the economy. There's nothing else that can beat an email to the right person. An email to the right person will make more money than any other method on the planet. Because if you have a CEO of a Fortune 2000 company, they're not going to find you on a TikTok ad. They're not going to find you on Instagram. They're going to see an email, and then you have their attention. And then you have 2 or 3 seconds to where their brain is open. And if you're good, that's all you need. That's what you should focus on. It's making those 2 or 3 seconds count. The big difference between cold and warm is how much time you have with their brain. So it's a little bit like, let's say you're at a dinner party and you're there with your best friend. And he's like, oh, here's my cousin. She's a Calvin Klein model. Maybe you want to tell, you have time, right? You have time to make a first impression. You have time with her. But let's say you meet the same girl and she's still your friend's cousin, but you don't know her and she doesn't know you. And you see her on the corner of your eye walking into a Starbucks. You have a few seconds. That's all you get. That's what cold email is like. What's so great about it is the better you get at those first 2 seconds, getting someone's attention, getting them to respond to you, having enough out there, having a good Instagram if you're a guy, you're dating, whatever, having a good website, having good materials, having good content. The better you get at talking to the Calvin Klein model in the Starbucks, the business version, right? The better you're going to get at everything. Because what works on a cold lead is always going to work on a warm lead. What works on a warm lead is not going to work very well on a cold lead, because she's not going to listen to you talk for 10 minutes. You don't have an in. There's no reason for her. We're very distrustful of strangers because we have to be. Strangers are overwhelming. And without really getting attention, it's hard to really make an impact. And that's sort of the magic of cold email. Cold email can give you better market research than actual market research, because you have all of these different things that are going for you. So if you guys are interested in any kind of consulting or cold email, or we do sort of a hybrid outreach consulting process. There's our website is in the link, and obviously you can reach out and subscribe. And if you guys have any questions or something, just comment and we'll get to them.